Hello, hello, hello. Can everybody hear me? Give us a wave. That's great. Lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for being on time. And because you're on time, we're going to get started on time. So I want to make sure that I honor you all for being actually here on time. So it's great. I know that we're going to have a few stragglers. We always do, but sure, we'll just get on with it. So thank you so much for coming. I'm going to honor your time. And I said that I would be here for 2.5 hours. We could be less. You never know. We could just get through it all so fast. And there's people coming in left, right, and center as we speak right now. So I'm going to go ahead, pull up the slideshow, and also if you've got any questions, just stick them in the chat. I've got somebody there ready and waiting to answer your questions. So oh, I'm so excited. Righty-ho. Oh, there's people coming in. Look at this. I should have had somebody greeting people at the door. Sure, we'll get on with it now. Righty-ho. So great. Let me just sort this out. Okay, so can you all see me? Brian, if you could just say yes to me, that would be great, because I can no longer see you all.
So yes, we can see you. We can hear you and see you.
Yes, yes, yes. So what we're going to do today is we've got some amazing people coming on as special guest stars. One of them would be Brian there, right enough. So we're going to talk today about, what's been holding us back. So we've been taught to set goals all wrong. I mean, it seems like I've actually been working on a goal, would you realize, for 2 years, and then suddenly realized last week, oh my goodness, it's not exactly the right goal. That's how so much we think that we've got the right thing in place. And then you realize, well, I didn't come here. I didn't get born on this planet to be a certain title. I came on this planet to have fun and enjoy life. And so that's when I realized that my goal wasn't totally in alignment with what my heart truly wanted. Now, this may seem like whether you're in a lead in a team, whether you're in a business of lots of people or in a business of one, everybody is going through the same thing. We didn't come here to make another company grow and be bigger. Like whenever I was working for pharmaceuticals, whenever they were talking about stretch type goals, stretch type targets, and you'd be like, oh my goodness, I feel this stretch. I didn't want to do them. I wasn't aligned with them in any shape or form because I didn't actually have my own goals. And so I couldn't link what I wanted to what the company wanted. And if somebody had done that with me, oh my goodness, rest assured, I would have pulled out all stops. So that's whenever I'm dealing with people in corporate, is just going, okay, that's what corporate wants, but what do you want? Oh, well, that's what corporate wants. I've got to work with them. No, no, no. What do you want? And how can you align that with corporate? Yeah. How can you align that with corporate? Because then you will drive your results, which will then drive the team results, which will then drive the corporate results, which keeps everybody happy and in a job and keeps your manager off your back, unless you are the manager. So basically what I realized was it's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. And to tell you, you'll get to know about me as we go through this. I'll tell you in little bits and pieces that become relevant than giving the whole story in one go. And what I'd realized is that, my manager was saying about, Sheena, you're ticking all the boxes here. Like your KPIs are brilliant, but your sales are rubbish. Because you see, the thing is that I didn't think I was a salesperson. I'd come from the NHS for 15 years. And then I walked straight into pharmaceuticals. And all of a sudden, they're telling me to do this, that, and the other, and talk about what a great result I had. I couldn't see any of that whatsoever. I was just like, I'm just doing a job. Like, I didn't have a clue. So it's who you think you're not tends to be what's holding us back. Yeah. So this event is for you if you want results and you want to end the excuses. I mean, I would switch off now if you want to carry on with your excuses, because we've all got plenty of them, and the hands up, I was the one who had plenty of them as well. So if you want the results and you want to end excuses, then you want to stay in here. Now, whether this is for yourself, for your team, or your company, this stuff gets results. This is what basically took me from being 0 at my job. Literally, I didn't even hit, when I got into strategic management, I did not hit leadership scale at all. And I just thought that's never happening again. And so literally within 6 months, I was number one in the UK in my specialty, and top 10% of the company globally. Now, in 15 years, I'd not done anything. I couldn't get sales. I never got even in the top 10 at all. But within 6 months, then that's when everything absolutely changed. So this webinar is not for you if you're not 100% serious about change and you're just merely hoping for change. I mean, it just doesn't work. You've got to actually take the action. You've got to do the work on yourself. You see, we're so busy trying to change behaviors and copy what other people do. That doesn't work. Your top salespeople in your company, if you copy them and you've got the whole team that are all being trained the same way, but actually, some people get results and some people don't. Why is that? Because you see, the thing is that if you try to copy what somebody else is doing, you'll only get your results. You can never get their results because you do not know the energetic level that they were on when they did the work. So you've got to do the work on yourself. There is no get rich quick scheme, although some people get the information and run. I've seen people, I did it myself. Whenever I first started this work, I literally went from 0 and earning nothing all year to 40K in 3 weeks. But then I became a smart aleck and I thought I knew it all. So for all you smart alecks out there, and we're all there, aren't we? And I say that with tongue in cheek because I know you're intelligent. I know you've got the brains. I know you've got the qualifications, but it's not getting results. And you see, I knew too much. I absolutely knew too much. I'd invested in myself. I had done so many things, but actually I didn't have the results. Now, if you don't have a notebook and pen, this webinar is not for you. Get yourself a notebook and pen right now, because everything I say could change your life. It could be one sentence that changes everything for you, but I promise you there is something in here for you if you're listening to you. So this was me sitting there going, my goodness, what happened? So after getting, studying to master's level in business, Reiki, hypnotherapy, NLP, and coaching. And the biggest laugh is that I thought that the coaching qualification that I got was simple. I was just like, are you kidding me? When I think back now, it had loads, it had everything that I'm doing right now, but I just thought it had to be more complicated than that. And you know what? It actually isn't. And so when I realized that I was basically lied to, that it doesn't take qualifications to make you money, it doesn't take hard work to make you money, because when I lost everything at the age of 48, I was just sitting there going, what the heck happened? Like, what happened? And so I just knew that I had to go and do something really serious. And, that doesn't happen to everybody. I mean, we could just literally be talking about you're working with a sales team and your sales team is just literally, they're not performing. Why isn't it? When you're doing the training, somebody else's sales team is performing, but yours isn't, but you're doing the training. What is going on? And that's what we want to get here, is the core of the results. And that's what I want to share with you here. So basically a little bit about my story. I'll be quick. It's just, this was the office that I started in. So whenever, I had the lovely 5-bedroom house overlooking the sea and the balcony. It looked like a holiday home and everything. And then, yes, Wolfgang and I ended up in a beautiful, as I know now, 2 up, 2 down in the back streets of Manchester. And, it took me a while to appreciate it. But my goodness, that's what grew me. Would you believe we actually lived off the A666? I mean, what a road to live off. I should have noticed that. That 666 is just transformation, by the way. It's nothing to be scared of. But for 6 months, now don't be laughing at my artwork here, but for 6 months I drew my house. So I drew it and I had the sunshine and everything. And I had the horse. This is horses, by the way. This is Connor at the gym. This is Rihanna playing her dance music. This is Wolfgang on his bike. This is the house with the private driveway and the electric gates, 5 cars, private yacht, and first class plane travel over here. So I drew this for 6 months. And so lo and behold, like, this is the driveway, and see these trees down the middle here. That is, whenever I was younger, apparently what I said to my mum was that I wanted a driveway lined with cherry blossoms. Now, when I moved in, like in June, these would have been, they would have blossomed and gone. So I didn't even notice this last year. It was only this year that they actually bloomed, and one of them bloomed on my birthday. The other 3 are still just coming out now. So how beautiful is that? I wanted space. I think you can see I've got space. And so I don't just have a wee desk, I have an office. And so, yeah, that's, it's good. It's good. And my office is a lot better. So what happened? Well, we work on 3 planes: spiritual, intellectual, and physical. But what we tend to do is we notice our physical results, then we get emotionally attached to them. So say you have bad sales results or your income isn't so good, you get all worried about it and you get all worked up about it. So then your intellect goes off and tries to figure out the problem. And then when we're really stuck, we go and pray to God or whoever it is that you want to pray to. It's like you're on your knees going, somebody help me, somebody help me. Okay, so instead of doing 3, 2, 1, what I started to do was 1, 2, 3. Now this is, remember I said before, it's not who you think you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. And so what I did was basically just go, who am I? And that was the journey that I learned through Bob Proctor. We'll hear a bit more about him in a minute. But I learned that who we truly are, and that we're not just wrapped up in this body. And when you study the evolution and science and theology, like behind it all, you really are something special. And not just, I love the saying is that, you know, we are not in the universe. The universe is in us. My goodness, if you could really believe that, it changes your whole outlook on everything. So the way I started to think was like, okay, who am I and what do I want? So then I would have my intellect be in a bit more of a calmer state. Rather than being all wrapped up in emotions, I could start to control my emotions, or at least guide them. If we try to be too much in control, that's another just form of resistance, and it doesn't get us what we want. And so then the physical results started to happen. So I had to go this way, not that way, because emotions is what creates your world. And what happens when we're in corporate? I mean, there's no mention of emotion at all. It is all practical, 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 skill, skill, skill. I know that we do our personality profilers, but for some reason it's still missed. It's like, you know, you have your, let's do your sales call. Let's do steps 1 to 10. And then somebody comes and watches you, and have you ticked all 10 boxes? I remember one time a manager coming out with me, and it was very much based on relationships. And so I hadn't seen this guy for a while. I'd gone in with a new product. I was just doing a contract. And while I was in there, he asked me a technical question. Well, I'd only just learned about the drug, so I did my best. But I pulled my manager in and I said, can you answer this? And I thought, well, I'll just use here as resources. And so she answered the questions. And then when we come out, she did nothing but criticize me for the next hour. I mean, literally criticized me for the next hour, that how shocked she was that I didn't know the material. And I thought, I don't believe in the drug and I don't believe in the data. Basically, it was true, but they told me that even at training, that they didn't believe in it, that there was some anomalies. That's easy for you to say. So, but I knew that I could put doubt in people's minds. That's all I needed to do. And I would use my relationship. So the next time I saw him, she was with me again. And I spoke to him in the corridor, and it was just about that doubt, to check, was he doing the right treatment? Not doubt for, you know, who he was or what he was prescribing, but for him to stop for a moment and just check, was he doing the right treatment for the right patients? You know what? He turned around after I spoke most of the time about his family and his holidays. And then he said, Sheena, you just tell us what you want us to do, and we'll fit it into what needs to happen, because I really like. And so he started to have a conversation. But my manager actually turned around and said to me that wasn't a proper call, that wouldn't be recorded. See, what I did was I connect with him on an emotional level rather than on an intellectual level. It was an emotional, and we were discussing different things about the patients that would actually make a change, not intellect. So where does this data come from? For all you intellectuals out there, because I know you're all intellectual in here. Okay, so Think and Grow Rich is where it all started. So Andrew Carnegie, that's the guy on the left-hand side. He literally was the richest man in the world in the early 1900s. And he couldn't understand. Well, every time he gave money away, it would come back to him more. He just kept trying to give it away, but he just got richer and richer. And he thought, people need to know. I don't even know why I'm rich. I'm trying to give it away and it still comes back to me. So we got the next guy, Napoleon Hill, to go and spend 20 years writing a book about the most richest people in the world. And so that's where Think and Grow Rich came from. And that's the 13 principles. So then the next guy, Earl Nightingale, he was just literally one of the first guys, the first pioneers in personal development. And Bob Proctor, who's the next guy, started to work for Earl Nightingale. And now I am working with Bob Proctor. So our information has got absolute solid roots in it with the 13 principles. And it really is a science. It is not a secret anymore. It literally is a science. And you know how you're doing because results always tell the truth. So let me ask you, are your results causing your thinking? Or is your thinking causing your results? Now, you see where this goes is the sales sheet, the bank balance. You look at it, you don't like it. And then you try to decide, oh, well, I'll have to do something else. Rather than coming from an absolute vision of where you want the company, your team, or yourself to go. So you want your thinking to be causing your results, not the other way around. So you may know it all. We're full of like information derelicts. Like we know so much, but the results aren't there, or you're exhausted. The results are there, but you're just exhausted. And you think, how can I keep going like that? It doesn't have to be that way, okay? It doesn't have to be that way. Just to give you some examples of success, you have Peggy McCall. She's now a multimillionaire authoress. Now, she started working with Bob Proctor alongside him 40 years ago. She took his advice then, and she just went on from strength to strength. What she did was she needed to buy a house and she was $1 million short. I mean, go figure. Who's $1 million short these days and buying their house? Just a small million, that's it. And, he just said to her, well, make $1 million look small. So she wrote a book called Make $1 Million Look Small, and it made her $1 million. How cool is that? You see, it's not the money we're looking for. It's the idea. Here's another beautiful example of Kim. Kim was a nurse, mental health nurse, earning 35,000, struggling, £4.50 in her purse. That was it. She literally sold her car to come and work with Bob Proctor. And 3 years later, literally a millionaire, multi-millionairess right now. So what will you do to get forward? It's because that would have been silly. Like, why would you sell your car? Like, why would you do that whenever you don't have enough money as it is? And then all of a sudden, sell your car for personal development. Here's some more results. If you told me 4 months ago that I would have taken over a company that made me redundant, paid off debt, and turned over 200K, I'd have thought you were having a laugh. But that's exactly what we did. Wow, who wants some of that? In fact, I'll just stop there. Who wants some of that? What would be some of the results actually that you might want? Just put some stuff in the chat there. I need a little drink. I'm only 20 minutes in and I need a little drink already. So don't be shy. Start putting in what you would really like to see. Start feeling that. I mean, it could be something silly. The sillier, the better, I think. Absolutely, the sillier, the better. And then here's this beautiful Brian one, which we're going to hear from him in an hour and a half's time, and literally about taking his annual salary and making it monthly. I mean, who would like to do that? Sometimes when I speak to people and they say, yes, I want to earn $250,000. And then I say to them, well, I want to be a millionaire. Well, can you feel like you're a millionaire? Can you feel that? And, most people actually say, well, no, I can't. I says, well, okay, well, what's your annual salary? Well, it's, I don't know, say 60,000 or whatever. Well, what if you earned that monthly? I mean, imagine, can you? How different would your life be if you could take your annual salary and make it monthly? Wow. That was the first thing that was said to me. It really was. And you know, when you first do that and you earn your annual salary monthly, then you just go, oh my goodness, I was waiting a whole year. Wow, a whole year for that. You see, we're not talking about growth of like 2%, 5%, 17%, 20%. We're talking about, you know, sometimes actually 1,000% in growth. Now, here's a simple one here. You know, somebody had this, one of my clients had this on his vision board for 2 years to have his Tesla. And then 3 months later, he said, yesterday, I had a delivery. My goodness, talking about putting a smile on my face. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So listen, what's going on? Let's get into the material really, really deeply here. We've got Mr. Gold coming on in about 10 minutes time. So it'll be great to listen to what he says. So when we're dealing with teams, you know, and with yourself as well, so this is not just a team picture, but it's also your body picture, because you've got the front end, you've got the people in your team who are working so well up here, and they're doing a great job. And that's like you, that's like your conscious mind, your positive mental attitude that I know that all of you in here have. Then you've got this, you know, not engaged in the middle, and depending on the day, they can swing back or forward. It doesn't really matter. They're like, oh, it's a good day today, so I'm going to do a good job. Or it's not such a good day today, so I'm not really feeling it. And then you've got the people who are actively disengaged, and they are literally kicking away your company. They must be dealt with, but it's not through criticism. You cannot criticize anybody into growth. It's about understanding. Now, I do this through strengths. So I'm a Gallup certified strength consultant as well. And when you identify in the company as to whether their strengths actually fit your company, you see, that's where the growth is. Any company that I did strengths with literally went to number one. You know, KPIs of 47% to 100% continually. Like, I don't even know why they were even working on 47% in the first place, but you know, to literally, that is the difference. But every team that I did strengths with went to number one because some team members would actually leave. They were not in the right job for their strengths, and you're making them do stuff that they don't even want to do. And therefore their energy is in their boots and they're just doing a job. And so you want people who are working from their strengths at all times, then they will just be self-motivators. So do not make somebody do something they don't want to. I mean, just, you can see from their faces, if you ask somebody to do something and their face drops, you know you're on a loser. Find something that makes their face light up, and my goodness, you'll get so much out of them. Stop making people, but this is the same for yourself. Stop making yourself do stuff you don't even want to do. Like, you're killing yourself. You really are. That may sound a bit dramatic, but you actually are. I laugh. It's not a, yeah, you're actually killing yourself, because slowly but surely it's disintegration rather than growing. So we're all literally like, we're little that's easy for me to say, distributors of energy. So you know what it's like if you walk into a room and there's a negative energy and you can feel it and you're going, oh my goodness, I don't even want to be around these people. Feel that energy. Or you walk into a room where everybody's chatting and you can feel the energy, you can feel the vibe. You've had that before, haven't you? So you know what I'm talking about. There's days when you get out of bed and you bounce out of bed, and then there's other days where you like just crawl and just about get your feet on the floor. That's all energy, and you're distributing that all the time. So your results are on a certain energy. So what we want is a goal that literally pulls us away from that so far that it's not even closely aligned with it, because if it's too closely aligned with it, you'll just get dragged down by it. So this is a company goal that could literally take your company wherever, your team wherever. I mean, what would be their grandest version of where they'd love to take the job? Not what you think you can do, but what you think you can't do. Because that's when inspiration kicks in. That is when inspiration kicks in. You see, there's just different levels of goal. If I have a goal that's too close to my results, then all I'm seeing is my results and trying to climb up one bit at a time. But if I see like a vision of something absolutely amazing, then that's where I want to be. And if I can attach my personal goal to the results of the company, wow, that's whenever things and magic can start to happen. And it's all about a decision. You know, it's not anything else. I mean, lesson 1 that we do is just about decision. It is totally amazing. If you could just literally realize a decision is what drives everything, but your indecision is a decision. You see, you think from your current results. Yes, but Sheena, there's no money in the bank. How can I afford that? Well, let me tell you, when I joined Bob Proctor, and that was 30,000, I was 70,000 in debt and minus 2.5 in my bank account. And so for me to say yes to 30,000, I had to make the decision with where I was right then, that it was happening no matter what, and then the money would come. But you see, I was committed to me. I was committed to my goal. I'd made the decision, it was happening. I'd attached such a big why to it that I couldn't not get out of bed. So here's the thing about this. If we continued to think from current results, then we wouldn't have had a mobile phone. The Wright brothers wouldn't be in the air with a plane. We wouldn't have anything new if we continue to think from current results. Don't be silly. Nobody's ever done that before. I had it one time in a business meeting in the pharmaceutical company I worked for, where somebody said to me, oh, don't be silly. That CCG doesn't work with us. They don't like us. And I'm like, well, when did you have that discussion? And he said, oh, about 2 months ago. And I said, well, that's really funny because I've been working with him for the last 6 months. Just because he couldn't get in, he was trying to stop the rest of us from getting in. But I got in. You see, what you can do and what somebody else can do are 2 different things. What somebody else does is absolutely none of your business. If they're doing great, then use it for inspiration and go, thank you for showing me the way. I know I can do it, and I can do it my way. I can do it my way, but it's got to be a committed decision. Committed, 100% committed. It can't be any other way. If you don't come from your vision, you're on the ground floor of the Shard, where everybody else is milling around and you're banging into people and you can't see, and everybody's whinging and moaning about this, that, the other. And there's so many people, but when you go to the top of the Shard, wow, now you can see where you're going. Can't you? Now you can see where you're going. And this is what is needed. A paradigm shift. This goes deeper. I've been studying this work now this is my 10th time round. And I promise you it goes so deep that if we do not shift our paradigm, you're trying to change behaviors, you're trying to change beliefs, you're trying to change so many different things that actually that's not what is going to give you results. It's not going to give you results. It is only by changing your paradigm. That is what gives you results. So with that, look at that for timing. I must be doing really well today. Somebody's looking after me. And I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Wolfgang Gold. Oh, we haven't just a new person coming in now, obviously, who wanted to speak to Mr. Wolfgang. So I will ask him to unmute. And I wonder if I can pin him. Oh, there you go. If I can pin you to the top. There you go, Wolfgang. Hello, I would just like you to introduce yourself. Wolfgang. I know there's some people in here that will know you, so if you want to just introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, my name is Wolfgang Gold. I'm originally from Austria, now live in the UK, and been in the hotel industry for over 30 years. What else do you want me to say?
I don't know, I was just having a wee drink at the time. So, I mean, it's been, you've followed this journey as well over the last couple of years, and there's been a lot of enlightening moments that you've had. And there was one thing that really stuck out for me about the difference between being an employee and running your own business. But even that journey has been quite a journey for you. Do you want to explain a little bit more about what it took actually to leave your full-time job and become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, this is a story about a hotel development up in Scotland. And I first started to work on this project when I worked for a large hotel company, American hotel company, in their franchise development. So I was development director for the UK, getting new franchise hotels into their portfolio. So I started working on this project, and that was now coming up to 8 years ago. And I got to know the manager, the owner of the site very well, and we got on very well as well. But as time progressed and then nothing progressed with the site for various reasons, I obviously moved on to different companies as well, but kept in touch with the owner on intermittently, maybe only just once a year, twice a year, just a quick phone call, seeing how things are going and so on. Moved on to a different company, got involved with other people as well who showed interest in that project. So I got in touch with Mike again, the owner of the land, and we had another conversation, and it moved a little bit further. Again, nothing progressed, but within those years, I'm now obviously being independent for the last 4 years. Again, I've worked with Mike closely, we've kept in touch, and really over the last 6 months, it has come even closer in the respect that I'm now a director of the development. I'm looking after the hotel development itself. There's a golf course involved as well, so I look after that side, and I will be looking after the asset management going on as well, going in the future. So it's coming to fruition now. It's a 180 bedroom, 5-star golf resort, like I said, with a golf club as well, and 85 villas involved. So it's quite a big project. Now, when if I would have seen it through, if it would have happened when I was an employee, I would have got a bonus out of that, because obviously the brand and everything that I was working with, you get a bonus for every hotel you sign up. And it normally works out around 100, 150 pounds per room. So you can do the math yourself, how much a 180 bedroom hotel would have gotten me. Which, yeah, obviously is a nice number, and thank you very much for that. However, now that I'm a director of the company, I've got an equity share in it as well. Once the hotel is sold, and the plan is to sell the hotel within 5 years after opening, my share will be worth around over £1 million. And that really is the big difference. And it's really keeping on top, and the point of all this is the perseverance with a project. But I could have easily said, well, you know, I've left the company, it's got nothing to do with me anymore, let somebody else deal with it, and I walk away. Happened with other projects, I know it happened, that didn't complete where I walked away, but with this one, for some reason, I stuck with it. One, I liked the owner, and two, I liked the project, and I knew it had a leg, I knew it has a future, and I was quite excited about it, and I still am extremely excited about it, and I like it. And I know it's going to happen, even so we've still got 1 or 2 hurdles to overcome, but we've even got the main funding of 77 million sorted out. But it's just really keeping on top of it, and keeping with the development itself, and then showing the difference. But if you keep on it, and if you do it your own pace, and you actually get involved personally as well, the difference of income that can make is absolutely phenomenal. Just the asset management side itself as well will be worth, let's say, a five-figure number on an annual basis as well. So even that is more than I would have got on above from the bonus from the company I worked with. And that really shows, keep with it. And yes, you can have, a 20 grand bonus for one project, but if you keep on it, and if you persevere with it, and you actually have a personal involvement with it, it could end up as a 7-figure bonus, if you like, or a better involvement in that.
So what I'm saying is, like, because your goals had changed, like you'd gone from being in a job and seeing the salary that you could get, like what's the next salary, so you go 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, and that's what we tend to do, because that's been our mindset for so long. But then you started to set different goals, didn't you?
Yeah. So yeah, my goals have completely changed. So my goal is now, instead of looking at the next deal for the hotel company I was working for, or having, I don't know, a target of 10, 15 hotels a year to sign up, and then really move on. My target is now to have my own hotels and be an owner of hotels. And obviously with that project in Scotland, that will form part of it, because I'm a shareholder of it. But the future really is that I will have eventually my own hotels. I will own my own hotels. We'll operate them as well, or maybe on a real estate basis where somebody else would operate it. I'm quite happy with that as well. So it really, the focus has completely shifted of being self-employed, and what actually can I create for myself, and not how can I make other people rich. Okay, so that's really is the the mindset you need to change from being employed. When you're employed, you're making other people rich. You're working for other people. That's all you do. You're not making yourself rich. Doesn't matter how much you earn in your job. You don't make yourself rich. You're making other people rich. So if you earn quite a lot of money, you're making other people even richer. But if you're self-employed and you do it for yourself, yes, there might be bumps on the road, quite a lot of them, and it might be hard work as well. But the end goal and end result is much, much bigger. Because you're working for yourself, you know everything you do is for you and not for Joe Bloggs down the road or for your boss or whatever. There's nothing wrong with being employed. If you're happy with that, absolutely fantastic as well. And you can still learn and progress with that as well and grow, which is also great. So don't get me wrong. But if you want to looking at the self-employed side, yes, it has got its downside, but it has massive, massive upsides. So you really need to look at the upside, constantly focus on the upside to get you where you want to go. And eventually you will reach your goal. It might take a bit longer, it might take it quicker. Brian has done it very, very quickly. You will hear from him later on. I'm getting there as well. So we're all really within the community, especially if you do thinking into results in the program, it will help you on that journey. And it will help you on both sides, self-employed and employment journey as well. It will help you personally to grow and absolutely be fantastic and the best you can be.
And so what I'd noticed as well was that committed decision that you had to make, Wolfgang, that to leave a job and step into nothingness. I mean, that's the thing we're talking about, a committed decision. And so I seem to remember more about your journey probably than you, but it was just to spike your memory about literally where you'd earned, ended up with a job a week later that was earning twice the amount, but you were working half the amount of hours, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite interesting. As soon as I announced to all my colleagues and contacts with the industry that I'm leaving that particular company and I'm going self-employed and having a part-time role somewhere else, the emails I've got and the encouragement I've received was absolutely phenomenal. And also doors opened, which were closed for me beforehand, which was quite interesting. So, you know, other doors will open for you. And that was fascinating and absolutely phenomenal. And that gave me the encouragement to do it even more. And yes, as Sheena rightly said, I was lucky enough to pick up a contract that was a part-time agreement for working for a company which paid me more than I was earning before in a full-time basis, but only had to do it part-time so that I could look after other projects as well. And I still have that agreement now. It's with the company. But yeah, sorry.
I love how you say lucky. I mean, it was basically, that's the laws that we're working with here, is that you made a decision, you made a committed decision. And that actually, that committed decision had been made at Christmas. And then events started to happen that you were like being ejected from your job. But I reminded you, you made that decision at Christmas. And here's the answer. The universe was giving you the situation to step forward in faith. So it wasn't luck. You'd set the scene in motion yourself.
True. Yes. I made the decision, yes, to leave that employment or leave that contract. And yes, other doors opened, which was absolutely great.
But then on a personal note, something that's very, very close to you is to do with your daughter. And I'll let you just tell that story about setting that goal and that vision.
Funny enough, it was roughly about the same time when I started my Scotland project. An event happened in my life. I got separated from my now ex-wife, but that had an incremental effect on how much I saw my daughter. My daughter then was 11 years old, and it took me 8 years to see her again. And this is, or 7 years. This is an extremely long time. But within that time, anybody who has children knows how precious that is to the time with your child. Within those 7 years, I kept contact with Rihanna. I constantly sent her messages, either Messenger on WhatsApp or wherever I could, or Instagram even. Just even was like simple "Good morning, I love you." That's all. But at least she got those on a daily basis, and I did that on a daily basis, continuously for 6-7 years, until finally she reached out to me as well, and she wanted to see me. And now I've got it's not great yet, but it's a very good relationship. I'm actually going to see her in an hour's time again, which is great. And I really love the time I spend with Rihanna now, and I make the most of it. And that really is so precious to me. And I still keep sending her messages every day as well. So I haven't stopped that, even so I'm seeing more of her. I haven't stopped that. I still send her the message every single day on Messenger. It might be, might forget in the morning or send in the afternoon, but I will send it. Doesn't matter what time it is. And that really is, again, it's persistence and keeping on top of things. Doesn't matter how difficult it is. I'm not going into the details why I couldn't see Rihanna. That doesn't really matter. That's a personal thing. But it took a long, long time to get over that. And it was very hard for me to deal with that, not to seeing my daughter and obviously seeing everybody else having a fantastic family life, and I'm struggling. But I kept on top of it, and now I see her again. And yeah, she is in my goal, she's in my vision, she's in Sheena's vision as well, which is fantastic. So all of our children are in there, and it will happen. One day it will happen.
It is happening. We're already in the middle of it, Wolfgang. It's just we're having snapshots of the
Yes.
of the end result, and that's something. But the key things I wanted just everybody to pull out of that one was, was the committed decisions that you made and the persistence behind it that literally was drove, and the results then just happened. So thank you so much, Wolfgang. Have you got anything left to say for everybody just before?
Listen to Sheena, listen to her, follow her, do what she tells you to do. I'm lucky enough, obviously, that Sheena's my partner and she coaches me on a daily basis, and I get to do this program on a regular basis as well. And I can't tell you how much it has changed me, and will continue to change me in the better, in the positive. And it is absolutely great to work with her. She's such a whirlwind. She will give you love punches. I get them daily as well, but they're great. I love them. They're really, really good.
You have to say that now. Stop it while you're ahead. Thank you so much, my darling. I know that you're going off to see Rihanna. So thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I just love your success. And your persistence is something for people to look up to. I love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so now how do I change my view back again? How do I unpin Wolfgang? There you go, we're back in again. So really when you change your vision, then everything beneath you changes. That is so key, rather than just thinking that you're just going, I can just have a 10%. So I remember a 1% pay rise whenever I was in the NHS, and we're all scrambling around for that 1% pay rise, and so happy to have that. If you ask for a penny, you'll be given a penny. If you ask for a castle, you'll be given a castle. And what are you asking for? And generally that depends on your self-worth. Now, bear in mind that your team will be like that as well if you're managing a team, because my self-worth was inch high, private eye. Let me tell you, I did not think that I was worth, I could have a great conversation with the consultants and everything, but I never once saw myself as a salesperson. I just thought, but if I got some sales, it was the luck of the draw, whoopie do. So I never asked for things. Like, my goodness, when I think of it now, what I could have asked for. Don't be afraid of asking. Don't be afraid of dreaming, and don't be afraid of asking your teams to dream as well. Really find out about them. What is in their heart? What do they want? Because then if you can attach it to your business, this is why anybody who works with me, notice I say with me, is because, we're not paying salaries here. We're paying commission, because then it's attached to everybody's goal and dream and everything. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for coming on. It'll be recorded and I'll be able to send it to you. So just ask for that little bit more. You never know what you could have. Never know. So fear stops us a lot of the times. And that's one of the things, is just, if not now, when? And people keep putting things in the way. Oh, well, I would do if. I can't now because, and anything that comes after that because means that you're being the cause of it. Please write that down, because you're never allowed to say because anymore unless it's something good. Unless it's something good. So yes, I am being the cause of me being a millionaire. I am being the cause of a happy family. I am being the cause of just being happy, bright and cheerful, just for the pure joy of it. So make excuses or get results. What I say to people is you can write down a whole list of results that you want. Write them all down. Just one excuse wipes out the whole lot. So you're giving your life for something right now. You're absolutely giving your life for it. So what do you want to give your life for? That's the question you might want to start asking yourself. Only you can decide, and it is a decision. So you know how they get a man to the moon? Well, how are we going to get the man to the moon? I don't know, the will to do it. You have to have the will, or be happy where you are. Please don't try and cover the two worlds at the same time, because that's indecision, and that indecision is a decision for no, and it just ends up eating up inside you. Accept where you are right now, and then maybe something will happen. But unless you have the will to really go for it and go put in your stall out and put in your stake out and going, this is happening, like no shadow of a doubt. One of the times that the reason why I got a strategic management job in pharmaceuticals was because I set my stall out. I said, I'm having this job. For 2 years, I went to an assessment center. I got top marks in the assessment center the whole 2 years, but nobody would give me the job because I didn't fit the self-image. I didn't fit their self-image of what a strategic manager would look like or act like. I was completely something different, but I just knew that I could do the job. So I kept going. I decided I was having that job, and the universe pulled different things in places that made sure that I had the job. And then whenever I became number one, you know why I became number one? Because I decided to be number one. I decided to be number one. And at the end of that, I literally did. Plus, I also decided on 100 grand at the same time, and that came through as well. So what are you deciding? Decide with what you've got, where you are right now. Don't think about your bank balance. Stop thinking about your sales results. Decide with where you are right now, what you want. It doesn't matter what relationships you've had before in the past, if it's a new partner you want. What we're talking about here is when you find out who you are and what you want, then the rest of the world will start to conform. But I know what's holding you back, and it's a paradigm. And that's basically just a mental program that has exclusive control over your habitual behavior. And I guarantee you that most of your stuff is habitual. 5% is conscious. Sorry, 2% is conscious, and 98% is subconscious. So you could drive home and not even know you got home. You get up in the morning and go to work and go through your day without even knowing really what you've done. And so we are being controlled by a set of programs. And when you really start to understand these, oh my goodness, like I picked up on one over the weekend, because as we start to clear the rubbish away, we start to see those ones. Remember that diagram where you had the people, the one building it at the front, you had the middle ones either way, and you had the ones kicking your business to pieces. Well, your paradigms that you cannot see are kicking your business to pieces, kicking you to pieces, and you're trying to build a business on top of that. Other programs and courses will catch the middle piece, and you'll start to say, oh my goodness, I didn't know I did that. Oh my goodness. But it's really the paradigm shift is the very, very core of you and what it is you've been programmed. Now, how have you been programmed? Well, when you were a kid, like you, first of all, being in your mummy's belly was programming you because you picked up those vibrations. Then whenever, you were a young child up to the age of 7, you don't really have a conscious awareness, and you were just literally open to whatever is given to you. So if your parents were, annoyed, frustrated, anxious, and when you think of it, like my mum, my goodness, she was born during the war. So can you imagine what her parents were going through? Then my mum's born in that time. So I could see that she carried that with her. I didn't want that for the rest of our family because I could feel the anxiety. I didn't want that. And I could see the anxiety in my brothers as well. I don't want that. Can somebody just unmute yourself? Because there's one person I can hear some typing going on or whatever. If you could just mute yourself and make sure that you're muted, that would be brilliant. And so, but then today we're continually being bombarded continually. Like your work has got a paradigm, your home has got a paradigm, your culture has got a paradigm, your religion has got a paradigm. There's things that is expected, and especially in corporate, you know, busy. I mean, busy's a paradigm. You know, what busy says to me is that you can't manage yourself. Not that you can't manage time. Time can't be managed. Activities are activities. It's you managing you and how you fit into your working day. So if you're in the habit of going around going, I'm busy, then what you're telling me is you're ineffective. But I know in one of the companies that I worked for on a contract basis, that's what they were, that was the key thing. And I thought, I don't realize, like, why are you busy? You're a leader, you know? So who do you want to be? But if you're finding that you're trying to get through something and you're stuck, it's your paradigm that's holding you back. Now, you can work as hard as you want. You can get more qualifications and you can do things that you don't even like to do. And like me, you can clear your life of absolutely everything, horses, dogs, kids, everything, and still not get results. So it's the paradigm. It isn't even knowledge. This isn't about more knowledge. It's about shifting who you think you are for a start. And this is where the committed decision needs to be, because when you make that committed decision, your paradigms are going to kick off. They don't like it because you're asking your body to vibrate on a different pattern and it doesn't like it. This is science. This is absolute science. Science shows us that we are energy. End of. If you don't like that piece of information, nothing I can do about it. Your energy. Go check it out on Google. Your energy beings. That's it. We are light, vibrating pieces of light. I mean, I think we're just like walking miracles, to be honest. And yet we treat ourselves like we're worth, like if we were going with normal evolution, we'd be worth about $37. If we go with that, we are pure light source energy, we're actually worth 85 billion. Now, are you treating yourself like you're worth 85 billion? Or are you treating yourself like you're worth $37? You tell me. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to be you? What does it feel like to be you? See, your perception, your paradigm controls your perception. It controls the perception of you. Like, let me give you an example. Whenever I was younger, I was told that I was an academic. And yet, so I could be a secretary. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you had to actually study to be a secretary, but there you go. And so when I went for an interview to the RAF, and I went in, I did an IQ test, and they said that my results were so amazing, they wanted me to be an officer. And I'm like laughing, going, you got the wrong person. I mean, I was embarrassed. I mean, I sat there and shook my head, and they said I was bypassing all interviews. I was going for officer training, but that's not the perception of who Sheena was to Sheena. Sheena was a secretary. Sheena wasn't very good. Sheena just was. And so I left there and I never told anybody. In fact, it only started to come out in the last couple of years of studying, thinking into results, that I realized what had happened when I was 19. That actually, oh my goodness, how things would have been different. But that wasn't my perception of me, so I couldn't see it. And so it affects your use of time. Let me give you an example of use of time. When my mum was ill and I was flying over to see her, it would take me 8 days. I would spend 8-hour days because that's what we're taught. Remember, that's a paradigm. That's a program that you have to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. That's just programming. You don't have to. That whatever your energy, maybe you're good in the morning, maybe you're good at nighttime, maybe you're better at the weekend. You find your energy, but when you're in a job, you have to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And so you're programmed to be like that. And so what I was doing was taking me 8 hours. And whenever I was going to see my mom, I was at the airport and I got there early and I said, I am getting this work done before I get on that plane, because I do not want to be taking my computer out when I go and see my mum because she was in the nursing home. I did 8 hours work in 1 hour. Like 1 hour. I mean, I literally sat there and astounded myself and I went, what have I been doing? Oh my goodness. what? And you see, that's why we think we're busy. You're not busy. You're not busy. You haven't got any less hours in the day than Richard Branson, and Tony Robbins, who's running multiple companies. You see, when you're busy, then you stop the creativity coming through. When you start to find time and slow down, then your creativity will come through. That means it will increase your effectiveness and your productivity. But hang on a minute. Your logic's just cracked on in there. No, well, that's just not logical to stop. I need to bring in the sales. I need to bring in the money. It is not logical to sit on the chair, Sheena, for 1 hour visualizing. Oh my goodness, that was me. That was absolutely me. To sit there and even for half an hour. But now I don't even want to get up off the chair, because I know when I'm on a run, I'm on a winner sometimes, when I can absolutely feel. You see, the thing is that people set their vision boards and everything, but you're not emotionally attached. You don't get involved with them. And we'll be discussing that later on as to why that doesn't work, why vision boards don't work, why writing affirmations doesn't work on its own. See, it's about logic. Your logic is controlling you. It's not logical, Sheena, for you to spend 30,000 when you've got no money and you're coming up to Christmas. But what happened at Christmas when I did that was something magical, because I started to be creative with my thoughts. And I said, I want to have a barn. We're going to have a Christmas in a barn. I don't know how, but we are. 3 days before Christmas, Wolfgang says to me, Sheena, I trust you and everything, but it's like 3 days to go and we've got nowhere for Christmas. And he says, these barns you're talking about are 1,000 and 1,500, and there's none available. Even if one did become available, we haven't got that money. And so I went to a hotel that I knew the manager in, but it was a beautiful hotel. So I decided, well, I'm just going to go and work from there. And I knew there were no barns available there anyway. But when I saw the manager, who I didn't normally see, but I asked him, or just on the off chance, do you have anything available? And he said, well, funny enough, we just had a long-term let leave yesterday. Now we need to redecorate it, but sure, it's absolutely fine the way it is. I'll tell you what, you can all go in there for Christmas. It's a 3-bedroomed barn conversion, and we'll throw in Christmas dinner as well. How's that? And he gave it to us for £200. Wow, that was magic. And then I signed my first client up in the January. You see, I went all in. Are you prepared to go all in for your dreams? I mean, you're looking for money, for things, for whatever. You're looking for it comfortably. I'm sorry to tell you and burst your bubble. That's not the experience that I've had on scene of everybody else. Kim sold her car to join the program. I put my life and my family on the edge even more to go work with Bob Proctor. I'm not asking you for 30,000, by the way. I just thought I'd let you know that. But that's what it cost. That was the initial cost, to go and work with Bob Proctor, because I knew that I needed some kick over the backside, let me tell you. There's only 2 known ways to change a paradigm. And that's constant spaced repetition of ideas, which is what happened, which is how you were programmed in the first place, or an emotional impact. Now, emotional impacts, we've all got those. Whenever I was younger, my mum had somebody give me 50p, and then my mum took it off me, and she said that I didn't deserve it, that I'd had enough, and I burst into tears. So I got shouted at for crying. Do you know what I mean? We've all got stuff that in that moment was just, I could see the guilt and the shame and the unworthiness all wrapped into one little 50p. So we've all had episodes. I know that some of the episodes are not funny in your life that have programmed you. I'm aware of that. I have plenty of my own. But the thing is, what do I focus on? Do I want to focus on the past, or do I want a new paradigm? And the answer is, you want a new paradigm. Unless you don't. Unless you're quite happy with where you are. I mean, stay where you are. It's okay. You're all right. But most of the time when I say that to people, they go, no, I don't want to stay here. I said, well, you're going to have to freaking jump. You're going to have to jump to change your paradigm, because it doesn't actually seem to change slowly. It seems to put up a bit of a fight, from my personal experience. And I have been through a few paradigm shifts, let me tell you. So before I go any further, I mean, this is going to be the answer to your prayers here. And I'm doing a brilliant lesson on this tomorrow night with my clients. It's about holding the image of the person you want to be. But this goes so much deeper than what I can even try to tell you here, because it is a full hour lesson and they have studied this as well anyway. But I want to come and bring a girl that I just admire totally, totally amazingly. Not that I didn't admire Wolfgang. I admire Wolfgang so much. He's gone now. But this girl has, you know, we have grown together over the last couple of years studying this material. And this is all about the identity trap and about who we think we are and what we think we're capable of. And remember what I said before at the very beginning, it's not who you think you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. This girl did not realize how freaking awesome she is. And there's going to be so much more that we're going to be working together with. And we've got even brighter ideas that I could come up with on my own. And so I'd like to introduce everybody to Catherine Savard. Ask to unmute, and let's pin you to the top. There you go, Catherine.
Hello, everybody.
And so
Thanks
Catherine's
for
come the
having me,
whole way
Sheena.
from Quebec, and so she's moving house. So even in the middle of all this, she's come on just to share a bit of her story over the next 15 minutes, and just really help us see, you know, what's involved. So Catherine is another PGI consultant, and we've been studying this material over the last couple of years. But Catherine, the real difference that I saw, not just from last year, I mean, yeah, you need a magnifier, or what is it, a telescope to see where you were last year for both of us.
Totally.
But even just January this year to now, wow. I'd just like to pass over to you. So what the heck has happened, and what was the journey you were going through?
Oh man, it's a battle between, and you know this, between the old self and the new self. So we have a goal and we hold the vision, we have a vision board, and I want to be this, and I want to be prosperous, and I want this and this, but it's not going to happen because of the paradigms. And what are those paradigms? Is the identity you have of yourself that they're giving you your present results. And until you let go of that, you're not going to get the results that you want. And results, it could be material, but for me, it wasn't even material, the first thing. It was all things that you can't buy on eBay and Amazon. It was the peace of mind. It was the love for myself. It was just being happy. I couldn't get that anywhere. And for as long as I can remember, I was a kid, and happiness was not delivered in our house. So I've been looking for that all of my life, and love also. And it's with the thinking into results that I found that. I was at a point in May of 2019, if I just go back just a little bit, I was like, I had gone to therapy, I'd gone to seminars, read books, and done everything. But I was like, I'm at my lowest lows. And I listened to one of Bob's event, The Paradigm Shift. And Sandy Gallagher asked the question, are you the star of your movie, your life, or are you a supporting actress? And I was definitely a supporting actress. I wasn't being me. So I just jumped in. I hopped on a call with David, and I told him, listen, David, I feel like an acorn on the road. I'm not growing. I'm stuck, completely stuck and unhappy. I was like imprisoned in my own thoughts. And didn't have the money also, just the same thing as you. And I was like in debt, but not anymore. And I'm just going to give you the nuggets of that in a minute. But I remember I jumped in the program, and just making that decision, I realized that it was the first time I was making a decision for myself. Had a huge fight at home, of course, because, you know, people around me was not approving of my decision, but I didn't care. I felt like a taste of feeling empowered just by choosing me. That's what it was. It was a change of energy. So I had to give money for choosing me, but it felt like fantastic. The first thing I listened to was Self-Image. And it was a recording from Doug Dane. And he was talking about the Maxwell Maltz book, you know, the psychocybernetics. And he was saying that we never challenge the validity of who we think we are. We've been programmed by our environment, and we just take that for cash, and we just leave with it. So I thought I was unworthy, not good enough, not this, not that. I mean, it was horrible. And I realized I had never been at that meeting table deciding who I was. And then I was like, yay, I get to decide who I am. I get to create the person that I want to be. And that's the journey in the past 2 years of creating who I want to be, letting go of the old self and creating the new one. But the paradigms kick in. So, you know, like you brush your teeth in the morning every day with the same hand. If you do it with the other hand, it's just gonna, this is uncomfortable. You switch it again. And that's what goes on, but it's so worthwhile. So since January, so you've seen my journey. So I was in the past 5 years, I was in a relationship which in a sense could say was not serving me. But I mean, this person was one of my biggest and most important guides, because it draw me out of me. It just cracked me open. And so I left that relationship, sold my house. Listen, my dream was to have a penthouse overlooking the St. Lawrence River here in Quebec City. And those houses are very, very expensive, but I didn't look at that. I just hold my vision of having a penthouse overlooking the St. Lawrence River. I had no job in 2020, so I was in debt, $50,000 in debt. I did not have any income during 2020. I took out my savings. I managed to get a loan from the bank. I found this wonderful penthouse, which the number of the unit is 1112. So if you go see the angel number, according to that number, I mean, I was guided the whole way. So I got a loan for a penthouse, which was sold $50,000 under pricing, because that's just how things, the cookie crumbled. And I have this beautiful penthouse. I'm going to be moving house in a few days, just finished the painting, and no more debt. And when I calculated my net worth, because I was someone who's afraid of money. I was programmed to be afraid of money, which is completely ridiculous. Money is just energy. When I do my net worth from before in the relationship and from now, I'm exactly at $500,000 Canadian dollars in net worth. My same net worth as I was before. But before I thought I was broke, I was in debt. Now I have zero debt and I have $500,000 net worth. So, I mean, just let's talk 6 months from now, it's going to be at least double.
Absolutely
So
love that. And I think, wow. I think everybody can see that, isn't it, in you?
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, what happens, and I know that certainly in corporate as well, where everybody's pretending that everything is okay. And we did that at the beginning with ourselves, didn't we? That it was just like, no, it's okay, it's okay. And it took one time in one of the calls where you broke down, and it was that thing where we have to stop pretending that everything is okay, and actually just stop painting that smile on and actually take a look inside and deal with it. Yeah. And it's not nice.
It's a little stormy.
A little stormy, but once it's cleared, then nothing can scare you again, can it?
No, nothing scares me. I'm not afraid of what I needed. The one thing I needed, I realized, was courage. And to make the decision to just live my life. I thought I was born to pay taxes. I thought I was born to go to school and then go to work and then, like you say, get the 1% pay increase every year. And so my pay would come in every 2 weeks, and then I would see the number go down for 2 weeks until the next pay would come in, and then it would go down for 2 weeks. I mean, it was a prison. And I didn't know then that I could just, with one decision, get out of that prison and be in this kind of playground called life that is kind of kept hidden from us. And now I'm just having a ball.
Good. And I just wish, we're going to meet meet face to face in August. Yes. So I am so looking forward to that. But not just that. I mean, that even because you'd had picked up a contract that was you were supposed to be working for the rest of the year. And this is the story I love, is that.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you tell it.
Yeah. So I got divorced, and I left in December. And so I was selling my house, and I was kind of still insecure with the finances. I had, like I said, $50,000 in debt. And I say, listen, I'm going to call my contacts, get a job, because I can get a job like this. I want a $100,000 job. I just have to call a few people. And then I had 2 offers on the table. So it's really easy to get a job in the field I was in. I worked in corporate for like over 25 years in change management. I work with the government in change management. So it's very easy for me here to find a job. So I called the contact, yes. So I had 2 offers, I chose one, and I started to work there. But in my heart of hearts, I did not want to go back to corporate. I want to go back in the coaching arena. And I started my online business where I'm selling some things on Etsy and Amazon. I'm starting a publishing business. I wanted to work with Sheena. But I said, I'm going to be, say, in the safe zone, what I know, and get a job. So I got $100,000 Canadian dollar job with benefits and everything. And I started the job, and I was so unhappy, and I felt like I was digging my grave like every day. My energy was low. And after how much, like 2 months, then I called Sheena and I said, I kicked myself out of corporate, because every day I was saying, oh, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. I want to have time to work on my e-commerce business, and I want to do the coaching. And eventually I kicked myself out. I manifested this very quickly in 2 months, and I kicked myself out.
But it was, we'd had literally the call the week before, and you said, yeah, well, that's okay. We'll work through this next year. And then by the end of the year, I'll be able to leave corporate. And within a week, you picked up the phone, you went, I've just ejected myself from the job. Because your heart wasn't there. All of a sudden, your heart just came to, oh my goodness, freedom, coaching, working together. And it was all there, ready in alignment. And then, yeah.
And in my story, my life script that I listened to every day, my corporate job was not in there. What was in there is I was soaring with all of my businesses, and the beach house, and the vacationing, the trips, and working from everywhere around the world. And corporate was not there. And I was like feeling it, really feeling it, but corporate was not in there. But I thought it was safe. I was just getting out of the relationship, selling the house, and then there was the penthouse, and I was crunching the numbers. I said, okay, well, this would be really safe, so I'm going to do this just for a while. Just that was a blankie, because I knew that the money would come in every 2 weeks, and I wouldn't have to stress about it. But I was so freaking unhappy.
And that's the thing, isn't it? We choose safety over what we truly want, and we think that safety is comfort, but actually it's the most uncomfortable place to be in.
It's a prison. And so right now I'm just like, I just trust, and things just happen.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story today. Oh, we've just had a new person coming into the waiting room. So this is good. We'll just have people enter them now and again. So they've just missed a beautiful talk there by Catherine. You'll have to watch the recording, Stacey. So listen, thank you so much, Catherine. And yeah, if anyone's got any questions for Catherine, just pop them in the box there, and we can answer them later. I've got somebody ready to take on any answers of questions. The other thing is that if anybody wants to book a call, if you do have to leave here right now, then please book a call with me. Shannon will be putting the calendar details in here. So don't be leaving without at least booking a call and having a chat. It's 15 minutes that could turn your world around. You have absolutely no idea. I always remember Bob Proctor saying is that, he took an appointment one time, and it was the appointment that completely changed the trajectory of his life. I know that people come back to me and literally they've changed everything in a whole year. So I know there's a question there. How does Catherine earn her? I can't remember. I can't see that question there. I'll just go to the chat. So how does Catherine earn her income now? So there you go, Catherine. It's all like, it's actually Well, you actually mentioned that anyway, of the different businesses. You see, that's the thing. Can I just point out there? So whenever you hear something about what somebody else is doing, yeah, it's not necessarily anything to, oops, I'm just trying to pin myself here. There you go. So people say to me, Sheena, how did you manifest your money? And I go, you know what? And I say this with complete love. It's none of your business. How does Catherine earn her income now? It's none of your business. And I say it with love, because if you concentrate on what Catherine does, guess what happens? You take away from what Brian's doing. Say it was Brian asked me that question. I go, Brian, why are you asking? Who cares what Catherine's done? She's giving you inspiration to go, it can be done, but Brian has to do it Brian's way. Sheena has to do it Sheena's way. Liz has to do it Liz's ways. Do you get my meaning? So even whenever there's other PGI consultants, Bob Proctor consultants, and we go, oh, how did they do it? How did they do it? We are entering the competition plane. Competition plane gets you short-term results. The creative plane, which is coming from your very heart and soul. But the trouble is, we're so used to looking outside and copying them. That's why we don't get results, because we're copying other people. We get inspiration from other people and they can go, great, Catherine showed me the way. I know it's possible now because it's been done before. Remember the 4-minute mile? Nobody thought they could do a 4-minute mile. And then when one person did it, then other people are able to do it. But you have to do it your way, 100% your way, because how I got my money is not going to be how you get your money. The miracles that have happened that I see. So I have a girl that I coach on horseback. Would you believe it? Yes, that's how we do our coaching sessions. And she's telling me, well, how did you manifest your money? And I went, well, how did you manifest yours? Because this girl last year has invented something, and for 2 years before couldn't get it moving. And then we started talking and talking and talking. The next thing, she's got an investment of 50,000 in her bank account. Now, how did she do that? She spoke to one person, who spoke to another person, who found this money, who found that money, who found this grant, who found this investor. It's got nothing to do with how you're going to do it. She had to ask herself the question, and then the universe kept delivering her ideas, and then she acted on the ideas. You see, so even doing a program like Thinking into Results, which is 6,000, you're like probably thinking, well, where would anybody get money like that? I don't know. You find it. Where did I get 30,000 from? Where? I worked things out, and it's never the logical answer. Let me tell you, it is never the logical answer, because logic keeps you in bondage, keeps you exactly where you are. And we can go through the science of that another time whenever you become a client. Whenever you start studying this, because then we will go into the science about who you are, and you'll know exactly why and how that you manifest anything. Right now, there's only so much we can do in one day. Even though Bob Proctor as well, he's the same, when he does his master classes over a week, there's only so much we can impart in you. And they will shift you somehow, but they'll shift you short term. What we want is long-term results. We don't want you getting success for 3 months. I want you having success for the rest of your life. I don't want you to have to rely on anybody again or ask anybody any questions ever again. I mean, imagine that you could actually walk through your life like that, not having to ask somebody else's opinion. Imagine. Oh my goodness, the freedom of that. So I know that if I ask Wolfgang, what do I look like in this? It's because I'm not happy with it. And I love hearing my doubts come back from Wolfgang. He gives me them as clear as day. And I go, yeah, thought so. Because when I feel good, I don't ask anybody's opinion about anything. I just get on and do it. My goodness, can you imagine the freedom of that? Who would like some of that? Who would absolutely love some of that freedom? I know you would. I don't even need to say you're right. See, you're writing yes, 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 because I know you want. So what Catherine was talking about there was about holding the image of the person that you want to be. She had an identity thief going on. Basically her own subconscious or her own negative beliefs, her own paradigms telling her that she wasn't good enough, but she couldn't hear them. She couldn't hear them. just like me. I couldn't hear them. I couldn't hear it at all. And I remember whenever I got my job as what it was called CEC, Clinical Effectiveness Consultant. And when I got that job, I was then, oh my goodness, I'm actually going to have to do it now. Oops. And let me tell you, my self-image was not aligned with that role. And so by the end of the year, like I said, that I got a big fat unders. I actually underperformed, even though my sales were okay. They'd marked me down on leadership. And I remember the day I got the job, and the girl who actually had just popped into that position for 3 months, I think she just popped in just to get me the job, and then off she went again. And she kept saying to me, Sheena, you're a leader. Sheena, you're a leader. And I'm like, who are you talking about? I'm just doing a job. Like, my self-image was not aligned until it was. Basically, until it was. If we don't change anything, and we keep looking at our present results cause our current thoughts, which then causes your feelings, which then cause your actions. So it's like I said before, you're just going round and round in circles. Does anybody feel like that? You know, it'll be different circumstances on the outside, but actually when you look at it, you're still feeling the same. Now, there's one beautiful girl, another girl who signed up with me a couple of weeks ago. And she said, she met me in 2019. And when she saw my masterclass a couple of weeks ago, she said, that's it. I've had the same conversations with myself for the last 2 years. And I see what you're doing. I want to have a piece of what you're doing. And that was it. That was literally the decision made. She decided she'd had enough of those same conversations. Are you fed up with your conversations? Is it the same thing going round and round in your head? Because if it is, you can work as hard as you want. Please don't be that fly on the window, you know, the fly that keeps trying to get through the window. If I just work harder, I'll be able to smash through the window. And then is exhausted. You're not stuck. You're just exhausted. You've been working so long, so hard, and you're absolutely wonderful and incredible people, every single one of you on here. I know you are. And it's okay not to be okay sometimes. Actually, it's okay not to be okay, and to recognize it and to know that we just need something different. Because when we have a thought, it creates our feelings, which creates a vibratory reaction in our body. The universe can only give us back what we give out. It is an equal and opposite reaction. It is absolute physics. It is science. So what you give out, you get back. Nothing to do with karma, whether you're being good or bad or whatever. It basically just is, you get back what you give out. Can you imagine tuning into a radio station and you want Cool FM, but you're on Classic FM? Well, you would never think of beating up the radio station, would you? No. And the radio station didn't have to go and get the music and bring it into the house. No, it was already there. Do you hear the importance of what I'm saying? It's already there. It's for you to tune into. This is the same for your team. You've got some people in your teams that are just working on a completely different vibration. They are smiling. They are saying yes. They are taking all the right actions, but their vibration, their self-image is not aligned with what you're asking them to do. Therefore, they will never get the results. Then you find somebody who's successful and you get them all to copy him or her. Not going to happen. The desire isn't there. You have to find out they have to find out what makes them tick. And you tap into that. Then you'll get results. We need a new model. That's basically it. You need a new model. Who are you? What is your identity? What do you want to be identified with? See, I didn't realize that we could have a positive mental attitude, but actually come from lack. Wow. That was the most powerful thing that I'd ever heard, because I was doing everything with my 2%. I didn't realize that it was a 98% that was doing all the work. And that actually evidence shows us that your conscious mind is up to 6 seconds behind what's going on. Again, that's science. Again, that's a whole other story. But your conscious mind is behind the scenes. So everything you look at is actually past tense. And so why are you trying to change it? You've got to change it from your mind. Bearing in mind, the mobile phone came from somebody's mind. You came from a thought. Go figure. How amazing is that? You came from a thought. And it took us all back to going, oh, good God, don't be showing me that. But basically you did. You came from a thought. You were wanted in this universe. Whether you think, oh no, I was an accident. You were wanted. You wouldn't be here. There was a thought somewhere in somebody's mind that they wanted you here. And look at you. You're amazing. Listen, I spent 48 years looking at myself in the mirror, not liking myself, and go, you look like your mum. Finally, I actually can look in the mirror and appreciate who I am and how great my body is and how amazing things are. And actually look at my whole life now, instead of picking holes in it. I look at it and I see the beauty that's been in it. And, you know, finally even seeing the beauty that was in me. And so, but I had to see it in me before I could see it in anybody else. Everybody that you're working with, everybody has a story. Can you not see the story? Can you see the greatness behind? You know, I spoke to a coach one time and I said to her, do you believe that everybody has greatness inside them? And she goes, oh, good God, no, some people are just pure evil. And I'm like, please stop being a coach then. Because if you cannot see that every person is amazing, they just have got this big story. Some people have got even bigger. They're like clouds over the sun. You know, the sun is there, but sometimes it's flipping thunder and lightning and a tornado. Sometimes it's just wispy clouds, but you know the sun is there. Can you please see that? If there's nothing more that you learn from today, that you learn that about yourself and about everybody else, then we can change how the world starts to look. But you see, we're programmed. There you go. All the doubts and viruses that come in. Yes, I got that, Sheena, but it won't happen for me. It doesn't happen for me. It didn't happen for my family. All my family's had diabetes. All my family's this. All my family's that. No, nada, 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 nada. You're amazing. Try doing that story. Try tucking that paradigm in. So, give me a little drink. I might actually, we're a little bit earlier, but I wonder if Brian is ready. Are you ready, Brian? Are you still here? Are you able to talk now?
If he needs to be.
If he needs to be. Brian is here if he needs to be. Well, I'd like Brian to come in because I know what I'm going to do next. And then I'm going to open it up for question and answers. So Brian, if you would like to, so Brian has been, I'll just pin you up here, Brian. Add a pin. You don't need me. Hide my ears as well. Remove pin. We just want the Brian, the wonderful Brian, to be on here. And Brian, you have light bulb moments. No, I hear them all, don't I? You know, when you're out walking and you give me a wee message and the shift in Brian, like sometimes on a daily basis. But wow, what a journey that you have been on. I mean, Brian, it was last January, wasn't it, whenever we had our first conversation and you made the decision and you jumped right in. And then 7 months later, your life looked completely different. But it was a heck of a journey, especially when that paradigm lasted about 3 months, didn't it? That didn't want to let go.
Sorry, it was bad. Yeah.
I'll let you talk about, because it's about that shift in mindset. It's about, you know, what you went through. And just the vision that you'd held for so long, but weren't willing to step into it until now, really. And just if you want to say, because you've got some great advice for people as well financially.
So some bits are quite emotional, Sheena, and some hopefully a little bit less emotional because I'd like to get through this. But can you imagine having, you know, the job and actually the career, I'm going to say of a lifetime, the one that you love, and you really thrived at it, and you know you do a good job because you do get the positive feedback because you know you're helping people. But literally when you've driven yourself to absolute collapse, you're right at the end. You're unappreciated by key and critical people, and they absolutely have destroyed you. You know, it's just not fair. But unfortunately,
that's what drives people to make change. And it shouldn't, and it should never take you that long to drive you to the change. And I heard what you said, Catherine, and fully appreciate that, it was a prison. Because, all through my life, and I mean, probably, I don't know, from when I was 7 to 10 years old, you have different visions of what you want to be, and they change and they shift throughout time, and that's great, terrific. Learn, develop, and grow. But I guess as Catherine was saying as well, unless you do something about it, you are going to be stuck in the prison. And you don't want to get to that point of retirement and then go, geez, I wish I could have, should have. Yeah, you could have, should have a lot of things, but stop shoulding on yourself. If you don't grab onto it, or grab the bull by the horns, or you can grab the bull by any part of the body and do something with it, you're going to have regrets. And I'm telling you, painful.
I know you've been on you've been on a heck of a journey. And actually, even this weekend, I know that you've had an amazing journey this morning and everything. And so I'm just going to take you back to like the moment that you decided that to leave your job. I mean, what was that? Yeah. When you start to get the hate in the job, and you know what, it has nothing to do with the company. It has nothing to do with the job, because those are inanimate objects, more or less. It's always the boss or I'm going to say the leadership, but in this case, there was no leadership. It was just simply the boss, sort of really, literally with the talons down on you. But of course, like Catherine said, it's safe, isn't it? You get a paycheck every month, and you get a couple of benefits, and well, you know what you're going to be doing between the hours of 8 and 5. But, I hate to say it, it's BS. And we've been lied to our entire lives that, you know what, you need to be doing what's right in the middle here, right in the heart, whatever you want to do. And it has nothing to do, I'm not doing what Catherine does. I don't know what she does. And like Sheena says, it really doesn't matter what Catherine does. And I found out what I love and what I can do best. And unfortunately, it wasn't just one thing. So I might sound like a bit of a scatterbrain. I took a trip. This was funny because I quote unquote retired / quit on September 4th. And that was 7 months after starting Sheena, with Sheena. And my boss was she was emphatic that I had to be going to the competition. Things are no better over there, Brian. And I said, no. I said, I'm retiring. Well, you're too young to retire. You can't do that. Okay, fine. You know what? I'm not here to have an argument anymore. I got on a plane within 3 to 4 days, and I went to a country that probably where most people don't even know it exists, and made arrangements to buy a multi-million-pound business. Had never been there, had never met any of the people that I was going to be traveling with and visiting, didn't know anything about them, and I'm telling you, culturally, they are nothing like me. And yes, Catherine, I'm Canadian as well, although I'm in England, but I'm telling you, culturally, there is no similarities to us. Now, not only did I make arrangements to buy the business, the terms have gotten better over the last couple of months. With the whole COVID lockdown, we can't travel. Oh no, boo-hoo. There is always a silver lining. And the silver lining was, now I'm going to get the terms that I want, which is great. And they've had other offers from other people. And no, we want only Brian. What's I tell you? It's been amazing. I mean, one of the conversations I had with you was about, how to take and actually it's 133, it actually looks like 333 to me. So there you go. That's my number. Was when you took your annual salary, I said to you, well, what about if you took your annual salary and you made it monthly? And you were just like, that's the trigger point, I think, for a lot of people, because you sort of go, oh, well, is that possible? Wow. Yeah. That would be amazing. And I remember the first time you'd even figured it out, Brian. I think it was 3 months in, you'd figured it out, but you weren't able to do it because you were in the job. Yeah. But you'd figured it out. So you knew then that you had to make the move to go and make it happen. But then it's the ideas that you have as well, isn't it? It's like one idea after another, because you've got the space for yourself and your creativity.
Yeah, I mean, come on, if you're going to take your annual salary and you're going to make that monthly, what are you smoking? I mean, seriously. I mean, I figured, okay, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I've heard Bob's story, but you know what? I don't do those kind of drugs. So I really didn't think it was even reasonable. It's possible, but for me, hey, who am I? So not only did I, make arrangements for this business, which that's virtually, that's about twice my salary per month. Plus, then I started doing what I even love more, which is not only coaching, but it's trading this in the stock market, the financial markets. And literally, I mean, there's a complete income stream that's literally a salary replacement every month. And it was a matter of, well, I needed the space and the time to step back from the job to allow myself to do these things that I love so much. You know, and I mean, it's just like every day and every month, every week, there are just hundreds of ideas that are coming to me. And, you know, I just spit them out, and Sheena goes, oh, well, I'll have some of that, Brian. It's like, oh, right, okay, well, I guess I better put a plan together and start doing something. You know, it was just one of those, oh, you know, this is something I'd like to do. And then all of a sudden you find the people just come to you and they just say, well, we'll do it because we want to come to you and we need you to do this. This isn't an ego trip. This is about doing things only that I love. I mean, it really is that simple. It's about doing what you love.
That's what's brilliant as well, isn't it? Because, you know, everybody's business then is able to help somebody else's business when we do our business masterminds as well. And that, you know, like I remember Belinda stepping in and she presented her business about websites. The next thing, she had 3 jobs just from the TIR clients, you know, talking amongst themselves. And then she came on, actually, didn't she, last time? And she was just going, you know, wow, oh my goodness, I left a job and now I'm earning that money and I've got so much space all around me. I didn't realize that it was possible because I was completely locked in.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, once we start going through the process and the entire project, the entire program, it is a process. And as Bob says, you need to pay attention because there is opportunity in every new day. Literally every thought you have, there's opportunity. Do you want to take advantage of it or not? And sometimes you can't because it's not really aligned with your core, and that's fine and that's great. I mean, I say sell it on, give it to someone else, give it back to the universe. Because literally, I feel like my mind is like those universal pictures that's got all the stars swirling around. There are so many ideas coming to me. 99% of them I'm not even going to think about any further because I can't. But the ones that really resonate with me, I don't get it, but they just click and they work. And it makes me happy.
What would you say was the biggest paradigm shift for you? I know that you've had quite a few, and I can't even remember what my first one was, Brian, either, but I wondered, is there a paradigm that sticks out for you?
Well, you know, it's the same one that Catherine said. It's the paradigm of leaving that comfort job. You know, the one that I see often with most people, and this used to be me about 12 years ago, is not being able to open my mouth and talk to anyone about anything. My God, they probably know more than me. I'd better, you know, dip back down underneath the covers. Manure, that's absolute manure. People want to hear from you. You need to open your mouth. If you don't start opening your mouth, no one's going to hear you. And you're right, it's never going to work. You need to say things. You know, and somebody said, oh yeah, but I'm afraid I don't want my boss to hear me. Well, talk about anything else. Anything else, anything that interests you. You know, the weather today, how blue the sky is or how blue the sky isn't, or, oh my God, did you see what was on YouTube today? It doesn't matter, but start talking to people. And then you're going to realize what's not only inside you, but what people actually want to pull from you. And they want to pull you along on the journey. It makes life so much easier, to be honest. And this is nothing about ego. This is completely devoid of ego. And you're right down on earth. You're just human, and be human.
But at the end of the day, it is about, you know, how we want to live our lives and the results that we want. We didn't come here to do a job 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. It's fine to stay in a job, absolutely fine, but you can still live your dreams. There's something there, whatever, you know, that if that's where you're supposed to be. But I know from, you know, when I see people, like especially one client who thought she wanted to stay in that job and wanted to climb the ladder in that job, and she's now a PGI consultant. It was like but I didn't want to push her out of a job. I just went, that's fine. If that's your C-type goal and that's where you want to go and that's what makes you happy. But knowing fine rightly that she could soar. I mean, I remember the guy who took us through my coaching master's certificate. And he said, like, too many people go to the grave with the music still in their soul. I thought that's a bit dramatic. But then actually, you're giving your life for something right now. What is it? And, you know, when people in the decision article, it says that some people don't want to I'm fine where I am, I'm fine where I am. What they reckon is that you tried at one stage, but then you got knocked down and you decided to stay at the foothills, and it was okay to be there. And you know what? I keep saying that to people. It is okay at the foothills, as long as you're okay at the foothills.
Yeah.
Just stop convincing yourself, I can be a billionaire, but do nothing about it. It's going to be uncomfortable. So if you want the results, you got to get uncomfortable, and you got to do the illogic. Like Brian, you went and flew at a time when nobody was flying. And I'm like, how the hell is Brian flying? Well, how's he going off now? Like, I thought, do you know what? It's none of my business. All I know is he's on a plane and he's flying when nobody else was flying. There was nobody in the airport, was there, Brian?
Pretty quiet. All the restaurants were definitely closed. So I was very hungry because no food on the airplane either.
So you went off to start a business right in the middle of COVID. I just absolutely love it. And that was the strength, but you had the preparation met the planning, and that was it, the opportunity, and you were able to act. If you hadn't have done the clearing out beforehand of the rubbish, you wouldn't have acted, would you? That would have been silly.
I wouldn't have seen the opportunity, which has been slapping me in the face for many, many months. Yeah. I thought, oh, this is for someone else. Maybe I'll know someone who wants this opportunity. And then I went there, and it's like, oh, why am I not in the middle of this? You know, and then as soon as you start to open your mouth, oh, Brian, maybe you can help me. Oh, Brian, can you come here? You can help me. I get people calling me all the time. And again, still because of COVID, things are a little bit slow, which is good because I can make the preparation and more plans for more expansion and extension. It's fantastic. I mean, it's nice to be wanted, but it's about doing what I love. And it is really from the heart. It's not about a job, and I don't even care about the money anymore. It's just literally these things are just coming to me, and I'm going to take the ones that I love most.
Super, super. I absolutely love that, love that, love that. So thank you so much for sharing. And I know that there was an emotional shift this morning as well for you. So thank you for coming in and being raw and honest. And so that's how we can do good business, is with that complete authenticity. I do not do business anymore unless people have done thinking into results, because then I know exactly. So basically, as far as I'm concerned, everybody who comes in to be a client, we're all going to be business partners somewhere down the line, because you're the people I want to do business with 100%. So thank you so much, Brian. Absolutely.
I would say only one more thing, Sheena.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some people think that probably with my life, I probably need about three different parts of me to get my day done. And as a general rule, I work between, on the weekends, I put in a couple of hours worth of work. As a general rule, I'm doing about 15 minutes to an hour a day.
I love it.
and I don't want to sound flippant, but that's it. I put in my effort, I do what I do, and we're done. But I know what I'm doing. And I have the control over what I'm going to do, which is, that's all I ever wanted. I don't need to spend 8 hours a day sitting there grinding on a computer. For what reason? I don't know. So it doesn't have to be difficult. It's as easy as you want to make it.
Oh, I love that. Somebody did say to me this morning on our group, and she said, well, it's taken 58 years to put this paradigm in. Is it going to take 58 years to take it out? No. No, it's not. Yes, it's 58 years and probably 13 billion years worth of programming. So no, you cannot unprogram yourself that way. We choose a new paragraph. New paragraph? It is actually. It's a whole new paragraph, a whole new chapter, and a whole new book. And that's what we're writing it ourselves. So Shannon Blesser has put in the chat here for anybody who's interested exactly what Brian's talking about studying and what we're actually studying. So just to keep it going and to keep giving you more value, but we will finish earlier than planned. So keep on in here. It will be absolutely great. So I will just go to, let me see, put me up here, pin me. There we go. Oh, there you go. I'm here. It's funny to see your face. Right. Okay. So remember I said before about, so this is like the path to agreement. This is the path you want to be doing. You want to be listening to this. Okay, so this is the ideal. This is really what you want, is that you have a goal in your head and you keep feeling, seeing, wanting, having, being it right now, the goal in your heart. It's like moving your head into your heart. Can you do that? Instead of being in your head, if you're in your head, that's why nothing happens, because you're in your head, because it is the 98% of your body that is actually creating these results. Okay, so your vibration will create the results. But what's actually happening? I'll just move myself out of the way there. Oh, I didn't know I could make myself bigger. We learn something new every day. So this is what procrastination looks like. So you'll see the results from your senses. That's what you'll be looking at. And that's all you'll see. I'm just looking at results. But Sheena, it's impossible for me to do that. Sheena, my family, nobody in my family has ever done that. Sheena, there's no possible way I can leave my job. I mean, absolutely, I've heard them all before. Whatever excuse you want to come up with, I promise you, I've heard them all before. And in fact, in Think and Grow Rich in here, if you look on the back pages, there's over 50 if onlys. Now you can be part of the if only group and just keep reading the book. Or you can be part of, I am absolutely making this happen. Oh, I am absolutely making this happen. Just having a look to see some people can't get in. Can't do anything about it right now. I'll have to send them the recording. So conditions and circumstances are absolutely, that's all you're seeing in your conscious mind. You've forgotten about your goal. Like you're just so far away from it, that's it. You're just literally thinking about where you currently are. And so therefore your thinking is controlled by your results. That's your paradigm. And your paradigm is literally holding you in that place. That's why it looks illogical for you to go and step out and do something. It takes a decision to absolutely move out of there. This is why you get stuck. This is why you stay in the same place. Now you can unsticky yourself a little bit and you're saying, oh my goodness, look, Sheena, I've got some great results. And my heart will go, yes, I know, but you're still in your box. You're still in that box and you can get results in that box. It's like, you know, like being tied to a bungee rope, and your bungee rope will change and let you go so far. But then it starts to get hard work, and then you ping back. I don't want you to ping back anymore. Okay, so this is your path to agreement, this one. You have your goal in your head, you have your goal in your heart, and you live from your goal. Your results don't change immediately, although as Catherine said, sometimes they do. But you know what? Your results are evidence of your thinking. Now, don't tell me they're not, because I know science and theology say that they are. And I know when I look back at all my results, yes, including when I lost everything, that I had certain thoughts that made that happen. It's just when I got there, that wasn't exactly what I meant. I think the universe sometimes just has a little joke about us, you know, and saying, well, there you go, Sheena, that's what you wanted. You wanted somebody to look after you. Well, I didn't mean that I didn't have any money myself, but I didn't say that. I didn't say that. And yes, you know what? The universe looked after me in the name of Wolfgang. So I did get very much looked after, and I feel very, very privileged. But let me tell you, at the time, I was like a spoilt 2-year-old child, kicking and screaming as to what was happening. Now, here's what is happening to you. Okay, so remember, you've heard Catherine talk about bondage, and you know, it's like you have an X-type thought in your head here, in your conscious, and then you're having X-type results, feelings in your body, and then you're having X-type results. So that's it. You just get through your day and everything's just the same, and you go round and round in circles. Some of you are feeling a bit frustrated. Some of you know more can happen, but you don't know any better. And so that's just where it is. But then you come along and you decide, well, I'm going to do a vision board. Everybody says do a vision board. But you've not got emotionally involved in the vision board. It's there. You're looking at it, but you haven't felt it. You haven't dreamt it. You haven't made it a 3D image surrounding your whole body. It's a 2D image on a piece of paper. That's what your affirmations are. They're 2D images on a piece of paper. It's the 3D version that you want, the 3D that you can feel it, that you're in it, that you are it. But how long are you willing to do that for? What, you do it for 30 seconds, or then you get sidetracked? Or you do it for 5 minutes, but then you go through your day acting XXX again. You see, because if you really, really, really do entertain the new ideas, a why idea, your paradigms will kick off. They will kick off. You will go hot and sweaty. Me, I always need the toilet. I know when I'm having a paradigm change because I need the toilet and something happens and it's just like, here we go. But you know what? I know it's growth. I know to understand. We teach you this in one of the lessons. So stay to the end and hear what these lessons are, because even if you don't do the program, you're going to want to know what the lessons are. You're going to absolutely want to know what these 12 lessons are, because Bob has taken something that I have read and studied for 10 years and I put there and I go, oh my goodness, it's all in here. I go off, I read another book, I come back, look, he says it in one line. He has taken everything that has been so complicated for so long and such a mystery and put it into 12 steps. And the thing is that when you know these 12 steps and you know how to apply them, which is the key. So knowing the 12 steps won't get you results. But I want to start planting seeds so that you can start to see what is possible for you. So when you hit that terror barrier, which is basically where the worry, doubt, fear, and everything comes up. So say you step forward and you want to buy this program and you're going to spend £6,000 and you're just like, oh my goodness, no way, that's just stupid. That's just stupid, because it's outside your box. That's all it is. So don't be afraid of looking at it. Look into the fear, because if you don't and you suck yourself back in again, you're right back into bondage. Nothing is going to change. In fact, you're going to feel even worse. That's why I say just don't entertain new ideas. Be happy where you are, because people are happy in bondage. People are happy in those stories. Nobody needs changing. The only people I can work with is you who wants something different, you who's had enough, you who wants results. You're the only one I can work with. The people who want to stay in their story, fine. You're perfectly beautiful, gorgeous. I love you. And I hope you love other people in their stories. That's all they are. They're stories. My God, some people have got such great stories. But if you want to be the star of your story, please do not bounce back. You see, this is where the understanding goes. And this is what we teach you over 6 months. And please book a call with me. Okay, so in the chat, you'll see my Calendly link. And listen, it's 15 minutes. 15 minutes that could change your life. All I want to know is, you know, who are you now? Where do you want to be? Can I help you? Hey, listen, I've got programs that are at $1. Do you want a $1 program? Do you think that's going to change your life as much as a $6,000 program? I don't know. You can have a look at them anyway. It's entirely up to you. I know what I know. And I think you know as well that you can feel my truth. It's the understanding of where you are and who you are. I've been around this 10 times. And my goodness, even on the 10th time, when I look at lesson 1, it blows me away every time. In all thy getting, get understanding. And so we move from bondage. We entertain a new idea. We hit the terror barrier, but we now have support to go through it. This is the key. We help you be accountable so that you can actually see that it's okay. Other people have done it. If other people have done it, like the 4-minute mile, you can do it too. And when you get to the other side, that is freedom, my friends. Oh my goodness. And the reason I smile is because there's been lots of paradigms that have shifted. Lots of paradigms that have shifted because I'm sticking to one paradigm that I want. I create her. I decide who I am. I decide who I am in every single moment until she becomes consciously, unconsciously competent at what I'm asking her to do. But I decide. But that's not the way I am, Sheena. Well, change it or stay where you are. Stop being an indecision. Stop arguing for your limitations. You are amazing. Listen, you've got like a thermostatic, cybernetic instrument inside you. You know, if we set the temperature to 70 degrees, yeah? And then somebody comes along and opens the door. And then the wee fire comes on and it literally goes back up to 70 degrees again. That's automatic. You don't have to do that with your heating system, do you? That's what your body's like. Can you imagine that with money? So say, you know, like you were on, you say, oh, I'm earning 70,000. And then the next thing you're earning 65. This is why you think you're getting results, yeah? Because your body will allow you. It looks like growth, but actually what you're doing is going back to exactly where you were. It's like this up and down line, yeah? But actually it's staying same. Now our lines are still up and down, which I didn't realize because that's the law of rhythm, but it's going on a different trajectory. It's going up. But most people are going exactly the same. Do you recognize that? Do you? It's happening automatically. And now you're aware of it. Your conscious mind has one image, but your subconscious mind, the self-image in there, that is the one that is driving your actions and controlling your results. And unless you know how to change that, boy, are you fighting a losing battle. Hands up. I think you might feel that I've done that. And, you know, I have to keep reminding myself it's the self-image that is getting me results, not my work. It's not the great things that you do. Trust me. It's the little things that you do in a great way. It's not the certain things that you do. It's the things you do in a certain way. You see, so your self-image is in there. Say you're overweight. Everybody's done this, isn't it? I'm dieting. So you lose some weight. But then what happens? Hands up. You know the answer to this. You put the same weight back on, don't you? Because you lost it. Your body went and found it again. I always think, you know, if you want to lose weight, walk past a skinny person and go, I release my weight to you. Have it. You obviously need some more weight. I release my weight to you so you can look fuller. You didn't change your self-image. They still felt like a fat person. And if you feel like a fat person or an overweight person, then you can't be a skinny person. Your self-image is driving absolutely everything. So say you're in sales, and bear in mind that you're all in sales, whether you like it or not, you are in sales. Because if you're running a business, unless something is sold, you're not selling, including us as coaches. Yes, I didn't quite get that one either. I thought, I'm a coach, but actually even as a coach, I'm selling you ideas. As a mum, I'm selling the idea to my children that I'm the best mum ever. I don't realize I'm doing it, but that's what I'm doing. To Wolfgang, I'm the best girlfriend ever. So you're always selling and you're always being sold to. It's just a question of who wins. Remember, this is not a competition. It's actually about creation, and it's about you winning in your own space. Then you allow others to win in their space. When you come from that attitude, then everything is just absolutely amazing. So bear in mind, sales, I'm not trying to get anything from you. I'm trying to give you your life back. I'm trying to give you your freedom. I'm not trying, I am. I'm giving you your freedom. That's what I'm giving you. So, are you a salesperson? You see, I didn't see I was a salesperson, so I couldn't sell. Wow. I had to change that self-image. I had to become a leader in my industry to be a leader in my industry. I couldn't have what I don't have. I can't give what I don't give. You give to yourself and you take away from yourself. You see, what results do you have right now? What results do you have right now? What image are you holding of yourself as a person? So remember, what you think and feel will turn into actions, which causes a reaction, and we need a new model. You are totally, totally amazing. Forget those virus and doubts. And I've realized that I have just added a few extra slides in and not deleted them. So before I talk about the program, for those of you who want to stay, we'll have a quick question and answer, and then I'll go into the program. Because I do not talk about my program unless somebody wants to know about it, basically. So this is an image of where my son, about 4 months ago, now there's a long-standing something going on here, And I had a vision this time last year, and believe me, it was nothing was ever going to happen. Nothing was happening as far as I could see. But from June last year, wow. I mean, Connor didn't come and live with us until October, but he was someone who was at his lowest point. That I didn't bring him. He asked to come. I just created the space for him. That's why I wanted the house that was big enough to hold everybody so that we could bring everything back to normality again. And so within 4 months of reading and just understanding this material, and yes, as Wolfgang says, Sheena's talking about this all day, every day. You can't help it. Isn't that right, Shannon? There's always something coming out of Mummy's mouth. So Shannon's here with me today, by the way. She's helping me. And so these are the, this is not this image here to see that he's actually put weight on, but his mindset has changed. It's this image here that brings pure joy to my life, because just how Wolfgang couldn't see his daughter, Connor couldn't, he wasn't in a fit state actually to see his daughter anyway. And, you know, this is a picture of him a couple of weeks ago. And that is what it's all about. It's not about the money, but money helps behind all of this to bring it forward. And you can have the life that you want, desire, or absolutely everything. But you can let fear stop you, but there is only now. Your power is now. It 100%, the power is in the present, not tomorrow, not yesterday, nothing, because you bring yesterday to today, you bring yesterday to now. Like, where is your past? It's now. Where is your future? It's now. So if you spend your time being guilty and shamed, well, then you're bringing your past to now. If you're in anxiety, you're bringing your future to now. So your now is your point of power. That's it, now. Because look, that now is just gone. So you choose your now to create the next now. Only you can make that decision. So make excuses or get results. It is absolutely 100% your decision. Oh, well, I did have my presentation on my, I'm going to stop the share and open up another presentation. So for those of you who want to absolutely know about the program, it would be, do you have any questions and answers? Do you have any questions right now? I can open up the board to you all if anybody wants to ask something. Do you have something you'd like to share, or any light bulb moments that you've had? I mean, if you're shy, type it in the chat for me. At least I can see the chat now. But I'd love you to share, you know, what it is that you've got there. Make the decision, says Shannon. And Tom said, love the phrase, it's not the certain things you do, it's the things you do in a certain way. Does anybody have a question? I'm going to sit here just quietly, and then hopefully, while I get up another presentation, because I did actually save it, but I've absolutely lost it right now. And I'm going to bring it up for you. So LinkedIn GPS to success. So I call this the GPS. This is like, you know, whenever you go in a car somewhere and you put it into your sat nav, and then you actually say, you don't keep checking the sat nav, do you? Where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? No. You plug it into sat nav, and then you just let the sat nav do its job, don't you? 100%. And that's what we don't do. We get in the way so many times of our results because we're trying to figure it out. I was given a beautiful vision the other night, and it was literally the difference between doing and allowing. And so in that vision was just like, there was a clear blue sky, and I wanted to look over, and I was trying to look over, and I was trying to create things and use my mental to literally, and I was told, no, sit back. You're stopping the magic. And so I shifted into allowing, and I was allowed to just, I don't know what's coming, but it has to be better than the 1% I'm looking at. Remember, reality is only 1%. Actually, it's 0.0001% that you're looking at. It's actually less than that, but there you go. And so we look at that all the time. That's not where the answer is. The answer is in the 99.99999. So here's 12 things that could actually change your life forever. Who cares about slides now? I've got them there, but I no longer want them, I've decided. So listen, how would you like to know, first of all, in the first lesson, exactly what your purpose is? What the heck are you doing here, Robert? Just thought I'd pick on your name because I could see one there. Yeah? And Ithiel, you see, I was trying to run away from saying your name, but there you go. If I said it right. What the heck are you doing here? That's the thing. Wouldn't you like to know the answer to that? Thank goodness. Bob is helping us. We listen to Bob every day and he helps us. So each lesson is 2 weeks long. So then the next thing, you've got a knowing doing gap. You know it yourself, don't you? You know it yourself. You have a knowing doing gap. You know what to do, but you're not doing it. Well, how would you like to close that gap? Boom. That's what you're going to do. And the thing is that what's in that gap is your paradigms. Like you have no idea what's controlling you right now. No idea. Listen, let me tell you, when you set your goals up there and your knowing doing gap gets even bigger, your paradigms start kicking off of us. Now, we're not here for counseling. Don't be worried. Oh my goodness, I'm afraid of what I'm going to bring up. There's none of that. Nada, nada, nada. We don't need to worry about that because we're going to take you and we're going to put you as to what you really want. And we're keeping you going forward. We're no driving anymore, looking in the rearview mirror. You're going forward. You're going forward 100%. And so wouldn't it be brilliant? Wouldn't it be brilliant if you had an image of your mind? Because right now, if I asked you, what is the image of your mind? Like, no idea. Some people say to me, well, it's all over the place. Well, you see, that's generally what it is. Everybody's all over the place. You know, oh, look, somebody sent me a message. Oh, look, somebody sent me an email. You know, the universe is going pew, 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 given to us all the time, but you're like here, there, here, there, here, there. That's why you don't know when you've created something, because you've created it, but you were all over the place beforehand. Imagine if you were focused. So we give you an image of the mind, which gives you that clarity. Now, here's the even better thing. What about having the trick to stay in charge no matter what? Wow. That. I just see my clients, especially one in particular, but that lesson 5, no, that's easy. I don't even know what's that in there. And that's her lesson for life. She keeps coming back to that. In fact, her PhD is more or less all around lesson 5. She got a job basically talking about lesson 5. It is just totally, totally amazing. So let Shannon put into the group here again, you know, just some more information about TIR and also a Calendly link, just in case anybody has to pop off. But here's the thing, I'm giving you everything that you want, your goals, your life's purpose, closing your knowing doing gap, understanding your paradigms, knowing how to deal with them, giving you order in your mind. Order is heaven's first law. You have no order if you do not have the results you want. The trick to staying in charge no matter what. Now, what about your self-image, your identity? As Catherine said, about the identity was huge for her. We're not talking about what you wear. Like this is surface value. This doesn't get me results. It's the self-image that's in here that gets me results. And when I let her do it, because I know who she is, then my goodness, does magic happen. So we deep dive into there. But here's the thing that kicks off is fear. We teach you how to go through fear, through fear, through fear. And what is it? Just imagine if you'd no fear and procrastination. Just imagine what you'd be capable of. Oh my goodness, can't you feel yourself just lighter? Feel like a cork on some water, and I've just like literally stopped holding the cork down. Just pop back up. That's what Brian's talking about. And sometimes that release can be so emotional because you didn't know you were holding it. You're holding it. You'll release it, not me, not the program. You. I don't want you to rely on anybody or anything ever again. Not even Bob Proctor and not even me. You have the answers to all your questions. Sometimes you just need a little bit of help to pop you over. But that's all. And so the next lesson is all about our beliefs. My goodness. You just think you get the top ones and you think you're sorted, and then you go, oh, hang on, because it's not the top beliefs that we're worried about here, guys. It's the core ones that have got 50 million beliefs attached around it. And programs and courses try and deal with that. But that's not what's going to change things. Lesson 6 is going to change things. But lesson 7 about your beliefs, at least we can see, but we can get to the core belief because we've done all this other work. But if you try to change one belief, we'll crack on. You'll be a long time actually getting there. A long time. That's why when somebody said, does it take 58 years to change a paradigm? Well, yes, if you're doing it belief at a time. Good luck to you. But who wants to do it in 6 months? Who would like 6 months to flip and go, do you know what? Freedom. Freedom in 6 months. I'd love it. But here's the thing. It's not just 6 months. Get me for 6 months. I know that's wonderful for you, but you get this program for life. Life. Oh my goodness. Like I'm 10th time round. You never stop this work because if you don't get the basics right, you're building on the wrong thing. You get a new goal, you start again. New goal, start again. My C-type goal, which is the big goal, becomes my A-type goal. It goes A, B, C. A is like the tiny goal that you can do, you can do. That's not much effort. So if you didn't do it, no big deal. Had a new car. Oh, I didn't get a new car. There you go. B-type goal, corporate stretch targets. Yay. They're so exciting. No, they're not. And then the C-type goal is what you really want. But then your A-type and B-types are now aligned with your C-type goal. Do you get it? We're all in alignment and that's what we're looking for. And now we can help to get our beliefs in alignment with that as well. That's the key work. Because then the next lesson is all about your attitude. Your attitude, I know that everybody on here has got the most wonderful, positive mental attitude going. That's why you're on here. You turned up. 80% of results is turning up and staying. And that's the things. You've got such a brilliant mental attitude, but you don't know where there's like a cutoff. I used to say to Wolfgang, my goodness, this is like you've got no feelings here. And I realized it was me. I was cutting myself off from my feelings. I couldn't feel my body. I didn't know what it felt like. But when I started to feel the lack, like as Brian says, like, and you saw his emotional shift this morning, is that you can be an emotional shift. It doesn't turn you into a wet lettuce. What it does is drive you into, oh my goodness, I am not changing my attitude for anybody. The news, crack on. Like before, you're told, stay away from the news, stay away from this, stay away from that. Well, to begin with, yes, it's probably a good idea so you can find your balance. But then you don't want to be living your life avoiding things, do you? You don't want to be going into family and friends, you're chit-chatting away you don't like and having to go, oh, please don't talk like that in front of me. I am too positive. You want to be able to walk like Jesus. He walked through the flipping, he walked through everything. Wouldn't that be good just to have that freedom? That your attitude doesn't change because, oh, well, I shouldn't drink a glass of wine because it's going to kill me. I shouldn't eat a McDonald's because it's going to kill me. I mean, that's your attitude. Or this person's pulled out in front of me, so I get annoyed at him. That's just giving your power left. Anybody got stomach problems here? Anybody got IBS, endometriosis? That's your power center. You're giving your power away all day. Here you go. Let me react to you. Let me react. Let me react. This area here is so, so, so powerful. So if you have stomach problems, anything in this region, which most people do, you're just going, here you go, have my power. Here you go, have my power. Why don't you claim your power back for you? You won't have those problems anymore. So the next lessons, you know what? I'll just lump them into one. The last 3 lessons are all about leadership. The absolute, not like my masters in leadership, it was just like flipping, oh my God, shoot me, kill me, you're boring me now. Like the theory behind leadership. No, it's so simple. The best leader are the ones who create the most leaders. But, the last 3 lessons that we do are all about leadership, and they are so simple, but so beautiful. And you feel good when you do them. And it will change your life because you must lead you first before you can lead anybody else. So if we can't even lead our mouths, then we're not leading our thoughts. Then we're not leading our actions. Wow. So can you imagine if you start to keep this quiet? If you can lead your mouth to zip it in the most dire circumstances, then you become more creative in your thoughts. And then your actions will follow and your emotions will follow. Yes. So that's the whole, like that's 6 months of an absolute transformation. If you can do those 12 steps right now, you crack on and you go off and do them. But here's the thing, that by working together and really understanding what they are, will absolutely change you to a cellular level, and working with other people. So I support you through that journey. I know what you're going to go through. I absolutely know 100% what you're going to go through in this program. And I recognize the signs like that. And I can talk you through them, because you'll not know what's happening. That's why people do programs and then don't get results. Well, I did this program and I didn't get the result. Well, yeah, because nobody was helping you through and understanding what you're going through. So if Shannon could put up that again, just literally, you know, to book a call with me, and also to have a look at sheenacantor.com/TIR, then let's have a chat. I mean, straight away after this call, book in with me. Now, if anybody, I can stop the recording and I am going to say goodbye to everybody in the next couple of minutes. And if you want to stay on now, if there's a wee group of you, we can have a wee private session where you can talk to me and ask me your questions. And you can book a one-to-one with me after. And you can go and look at sheenacantor.com/TIR. So in the meantime, I'll ask you again, does anybody have any questions? I would love to be able to answer them for you. Are you all going to be? So for those of you who want to leave, that's absolutely fine. I love you, and obviously I'm going to see you on a call anyway, aren't I? So that would be good, wouldn't I? I'm going to see you all on a call. There's no doubt about that. But I have another 15 minutes that I had scheduled for this call. So for anybody who wants to stay behind, we can just talk about whatever you want to talk about. Anything, anything. I guarantee you, I have the answer to every problem you have. So for those of you who want to
Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I know people are saying, oh, I don't have the money. I want to watch the webinar, but I don't want to enroll in a program. Those are your paradigms. Just hop on a call just for the conversation. Like, don't plan your whole life right in this instant, but give yourself the gift of just hopping on a call. For me, one call changed my whole freaking life. And to see how my life changed today, if I would have had to stay like I was, and I fast forward on my deathbed, I would pay $1 trillion to come back and to make the decision. So the call is free. It's worth a lot of money, but it's free. Offer yourself that. You just go over your fear of of talking to Sheena, and I don't know what don't plan your whole life right away. Just hop on a call with Sheena, and then you'll see what you need to do. You'll have the calling. You'll know what to do if you listen to your inner self. And this is why you are on the Zoom today, because there's something in you bringing you in the direction you're supposed to be your authentic self. So hop on the call and just have that conversation. That's all. Just your goal, a conversation. That's it.
Thank you, Catherine.
What I wanted to share.
That's lovely. So there you go. For those of you who want to go, those of you who've already booked a call, that's fine. And does anybody want to stay on? Because I can stay on here. I mean, if it's just Catherine and myself and Brian, that's absolutely great. But, oh, I can see people staying on. This is good. I love you all. And there's my daughter. It's obviously cold in her house.
It is. I was going to make a comment though, Sheena, actually.
Yes, go ahead.
When Bob says that in 12 months you're going to need a telescope to see where you came from, I didn't believe. Again, this is just analogy crap, isn't it? Well, you know what? 6 to 7 months down the road, I needed that telescope, and I couldn't believe. In fact, I don't even want to look through it, because it wasn't what I wanted to be, and it's not where I wanted to be, and how I wanted to feel, and everything else. Totally night and day. And literally, I mean, I know we had a couple of voice messages this morning, And I was thinking, really, the analogy right now for me is, and again, this is just about what I feel that is coming. And I know we're always in the now and present, right, Catherine? But literally, I now need the Hubble telescope to get to the next 6 months, because I can see already those leaps. The leaps they're already here. They're already on the door. The door is open and they're starting to filter through. And I'm just like, holy cow, in 6 months, I might not be on these calls again. Everything is going to be completely different, because you know where I'm going to be. You will be my customer. I am your customer. And literally our lives are going to be just so much more than what they are, but so much more in such a good way. And we're just going to be busy doing what we want and love.
That's why Brian and Catherine are in my life, because there's certain things I wrote my life up on a board in my business, and there were certain things I just don't want to do. And up popped Catherine and Brian.
You did that to me, and that was great. It was exactly what I wanted to do. And
it's just like, I don't even like that stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing that. And I just put a big circle around it going, I don't want to do that. Somebody else is really good at that. Brian, you're really good at making money. Can you just do trading for me? I don't even want to know how to trade. You just trade for me. Bloody hell, that's a good idea. Rightio. Get yourself sorted and then I'll give you some money.
And that's the whole thing, is that, I never would have envisioned half of what I'm thinking or even doing now. I didn't even envision half of what I'm doing, let alone what I'm now proposing to do. I mean, it just wasn't even a thought. It couldn't be.
I'd love to hear somebody else's visions that they've had. Do you want to share? I'd love to. I mean, because here's the thing about sharing a vision, right? So I did a call with another guy, and I saw him in his white Porsche. He said he was having a red Porsche or a white Porsche. And I said, oh, I don't know. I see a white Porsche. No problem. I can see him in the white Porsche. Without a shadow of a doubt, the next day, some guy parked in front of his house a white Porsche. And he said nobody'd ever parked a white Porsche outside his house before. He ran outside and he said to the guy, can I get in your car for a picture? So he phoned me from the car and he went, Sheena, you said you saw me in a white Porsche. I'm in a white Porsche. And I'm just like, I love it. So it gives me great pleasure when I see that what we've talked about comes to fruition. Somebody share with me what you see, what you've seen. I'd love to hear, because there's people on here now. This is the power of a mastermind. What do you see? And share it right here, right now in this group in the next 8 minutes, and let the magic start to happen. Who wants to step forward? Ithiel, yeah, that's great.
I'm a chemist. I invent things, and I see great production and lots of customers. Don't know who they are, but big numbers.
Super. So is this you're going to invent something yourself? So it's...
I have invented a safer paint and varnish remover, and my next thing is going to be an oven cleaner that won't give people skin burns.
Wow, I love it. Well, the girl that I coach on horseback, she's an inventor as well for an equestrian thing, and she is just literally jumping leaps and bounds. I mean, there's going to be millions coming in for that, so I love that. Just love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. Well, good for her. That's nice.
No, but I see it for you now. I see it for you. That's great. So that's a good vision now. So I can see you. Yeah, I can see it. Can everybody else see it? Just for Ithiel, just to bring that in, because that is the power of this. Absolute power. Thank you. Hey, what car are you going to be driving, Ithiel, anyway, whenever you've got all this? I need to know.
A Jaguar.
Oh, what color?
Plum.
Okay. I'm not going to ask the make and model because I wouldn't have a clue. So all I'm doing now is seeing the Jaguar and you in a plum car, and I see that and with a big smile on your face. I love that. Who else wants to share? Robert, do you want to share? I know you're desperate to. I can feel it. Come on, I can feel it. With a black cat. He's going to be all shy. Daryl, do you want to share? Toms, do you want to share? Rachel?
Yeah, I'll definitely share mine. By the end of the year, I see myself being able to travel the world. I know there's a pandemic on at the moment, but I still see myself in a different country by the end of the year with, at least 10 grand a month. That would be so huge for me. And I can see the beach. I can always feel the sand in my toes. And for me, that would be massive because I live in a city and I've always I've always lived in a city, so to envision a beach is where I'm at. And then whenever I come back, I want to buy a city apartment and buy my first car, which the first car that I want to get would be probably a white Audi TT.
Ooh.
So yeah, so that's what I'm envisioning at the minute.
Okay, I see that for you, Rachel. Now, Rachel has got long blonde hair and she's 22. And so there you go. You can see her now, can't you, in her white Audi TT with the sand between her toes. We can all see that. I love it.
Thank you.
Toms, what about you? What would you like to share?
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so what I see is that I'm on a Mindvalley master list.
Wow, love it.
As a mindset and emotional fitness master, coaching leaders. And I have been through transformation from earning 6-figure a year, then a month, and then a day.
Nice.
So
very clear goals. I like, did you hear? I mean, so that's the thing, isn't it? Those are very clear goals, clear outlines to the universe. The universe can see that. I can see that. And so it's like if you were to walk into Tesco's and say, right, I'd like some food, then you'll get food, won't you? But you won't get maybe exactly what you want. If you say, I want a tin of beans, then you'll get a tin of beans. You may not even, but actually what I meant was Heinz beans. Yeah. Do you see that the more specific you get, then the more the results. So that is like, you have it all there written out there. I like it. So that's very clear. You've got A type, B type leading to your C type. And but it came from your C type goal and you work your way back. What do I need to do today? And then decisions then are made today because this will get me to my C type goal. This will not get me to my C type goal. Why am I even doing it? Wow, so powerful. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Shannon, would you like to share yours? She's going, oh, that's it, disappeared now.
I have disappeared.
Would you like to share? What would Shannon like?
Shannon would like her own riding stables with all my horses, all show jumping horses. Be driving a black G-Wagon. And buying and selling horses and competing for British show jumping.
There you go. I like it. There you go. As clear as day. There you go.
New pajamas.
So it's 3 minutes to go. So listen, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you've booked your appointment, and I will chat to you after. Either that way, or I'm going to hunt you down for the rest of your life. I'm only joking. Not really. Brian knows that. Brian and Catherine know. It's just like once you know Sheena, you can never unknow her. And so we're here now, and we're going forward in our vision, whether you like it or not. And so it's so lovely to have you on. So have a blessed day, and thank you so much for staying. Goodbye.